Hey, it's Brendon Payne with Century 21, the Harrelson Group here with your very last Myrtle Beach market update for 2025. It's hard to believe, but here we are in December getting ready to go into a brand new year. So I wanted to get you this update before the end of the year. And of course, we're talking about the normal or the November numbers this month. And as a reminder, I'm only sharing resale information on single family homes and condos. Take out the new construction. New construction has a way of kind of muddying the waters and not giving us a great, clear picture of what's happening in the market. So let's go ahead and jump right in. With residential, new listings down as expected in November over the previous month. We've kind of got that seasonal slowdown of fewer listings going on in the market. But we were actually down over 7% from last year, meaning there were 7% fewer homes listed in November compared to November of 2025, which is a good thing when you're an owner of a property because that shows that the trend of new properties on the market, even at this time of year, is less than last year. Less inventory, less competition puts you in a better position as a seller. New pendings, of course, down from October, so there are fewer contracts written, but the new pendings were up over last year, almost 5%. So new listings were down over last year, and new pendings up. Fewer things to choose from. More sellers got offers in November compared to last year. That's a really good point. Now, remember, trends typically don't identify themselves until you've got about 90 days of data, but this is a good start. Okay. Like seeing this. New closed sales, again, down from October. But it's likely that, that's kind of that seasonal drop, from one month to the other. But the nice thing is, we were 3% up over last year's closings. So November closings were up 3% over last year, which is really good. It's kind of along that same trend where less inventory puts sellers in a little bit better position so far this year. So some good positive things to be thinking of. Month supply, we remain on that real slow decline. We've just dropped like a little bit every month since June. But good news is we just broke 4 month supply. Anytime that you're, in that 3 months and less, that kind of becomes that seller's market. We're still right at 4 months, and I have a feeling for 2026, we're probably going to hover in that mid threes once we get there. About 3 to 3.5, 4 months supply is probably what 2026 will bring us. But, I don't have a crystal ball. That's just kind of what my prediction is for the upcoming year. Condos. Let's jump over to condos. Again, this is all resale stuff. New listings across the board. You're going to see new listings. Everything's down November versus December. New listings were down November, versus October as expected, and down 6%. So 6% fewer condos listed this year in the month of November than we had last year. I like that. We've been kind of running, flat or even a couple of months this year where we were up over LY, meaning more condos coming on the market. This month of November, we were down compared to last year. New pendings, that's the only downside. We had fewer new listings come on, but we also dropped off a little bit this year in November with new contracts or new pending contracts on condos. We were down about 2%. Just seems like in the condo market, we see a couple of good pieces of information, good pieces of data, and then there's something else that's kind of just doesn't really help us either. So the fact that new pendings were down over last year, that's kind of, I'd love to see where we were up 1 month. Okay. Now, new closed sales down from October, but we had a good pending month in October. So our new closed sales in November for condos was up over last year, almost 9%. So I love seeing that. I just wish we could string a few months together where the condo inventory, we're actually having a net gain there, consistently. Month supply in condos still, since May, we've come down a little bit each month just the exact same way that we did with the residentials, but the overall numbers are so much higher. We're just now at 8 months supply on condos, and we've been coming down just gradually since May. So 8 months supply is a lot, and that is twice as much as we have right now in the residential. And just so you know what that month supply means, it means if another condo didn't come on the market, then it would take us 8 months based on how many are going under contract each month to go through all of the inventory. So if nothing else came on the market, it'd take us 8 months to get through the inventory at our current sell-through rate. And we know more inventory comes on the market every month. So that month supply is a good indicator of overall where do we see the market trend. So my prediction on the single family homes, maybe we're in 3 to 3.5 months by mid-year on the residential month supply. Condo inventory, boy, I don't see a whole lot changing. We're going to go into Q1 and the end of Q1, early Q2, and that's when we start seeing a lot of added inventory on the condo market. And I anticipate we're going to probably bump back up over 8 for the first half of the year, and we'll see if we can make any real headway in the second half of 2026 on the condo inventory. So, what can you expect in 2026? I think residential sellers are going to have a better opportunity in the first half of 2026 than they've probably seen over the last 2 to 3 years. Now, that's not because we're expecting any major changes in interest rates. I think a lot of the rate drops and stuff, or how the Fed rate drops go impact the mortgage rates. I think that's kind of baked in right now. Hopefully we'll see them come down. Main thing is just get stabilization. If we've gotten, a few months where we can be around that 6% or drop below it by the end of the first quarter, a little bit, I think that will make a big difference in buyers being able to make their decisions quicker. You've heard me talk about, we just need some duration. We just need to have things level out for a while. They don't have to go down 2 points, but let's just get a little bit of duration where we're kind of steady and people can say, yes, now's the time to move from where I'm moving, give up that mortgage that I have, maybe that's sub 3.5, 3%, and go to the place that I want to be, the Myrtle Beach market. Second thing I can anticipate is inventory right now on the condo market is too high to expect any quick turnaround in the prices. I talk to a lot of people that are condo owners, and they're holding on to, like, if rates could come down, then we'll see a huge demand, and then we can start seeing prices go back up. I think we're closer in a lot of parts of the condo market to where maybe we're stabilizing and finding the new market values for properties. But remember, in order for prices to go back up, there has to be an imbalance in supply and demand. There has to be more demand than supply. And all of a sudden, buyers say, there's nothing available. I need to buy. I want to buy. I'm willing to pay more than the last one sold at. And with 8 months of inventory, that just isn't going to happen anytime soon. So on the condo market, what owners of condos need to really be doing is identifying how's the performance, how's the cash flow, and what's the enjoyment factor. If it doesn't perform like it used to, or the cash flow is not what it used to because of increased rates or decreased revenue, and there is no enjoyment factor, it's probably time to really look and say, how much longer am I willing to wait for prices to go up? If there's a huge enjoyment factor, and on paper, it really doesn't matter how it performs because somebody's using it and they love it, it's a whole. It doesn't matter. But I don't anticipate we're going to see anything in the first half of 2026 that's going to change values on the condo market. So, really important to analyze right now. What's the motivation? Why did you buy the unit? Is it something that you want to hold long term if you don't see any major changes coming up in the pricing or the values? The last thing I can tell you to expect for 2026 is I will continue to be your real estate resource and provide the most up-to-date data. I'm beginning year 20 of selling full-time in this market in 2026. So it's 20 years. coming up, and I'm really, really excited to continue to be your resource and provide the most up-to-date, valuable information for you. If you need anything else beyond what I cover in these videos or in my newsletter, please feel free to reach out to me. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I wish you all the very best for a healthy and prosperous 2026. Thank you, and we will talk to you again very soon.